I must say, this is an amazing chapter. Izuku is back in action like he's probably never been before. This is the coolest, I guess, he's ever been in the series, quite possibly. So let's get into it. So the title of the chapter is All Out. The chapter starts with Deku's reunion with Muscular, who remembered who Deku was. He said he won't be able to forget Deku, and he's been wanting to meet him all these times. All of his other opponents are small fries and couldn't satisfy him. He said he doesn't want revenge or anything. He thought that going on a rampage with his quirk and doing whatever he wanted was enough. But since he's a human being, he couldn't go back to how he was before after he tasted the fun and pleasure of fighting all out with Deku back then. So I guess this is just further establishing who Muscular is as a character, which I guess was pretty much established when we were introduced to him back in the training camp arc. He's kind of like a weird hedonistic sociopath type. There's not much depth to Muscular. I don't really think there needs to be. He's kind of just a big brooding villain who's kind of just there to be like powerful punching bag gatekeeper in a way. So he jumped to attack Deku, who stood on a building rooftop, but for some reason his leap wasn't high enough and he crashed onto the building. He then told Deku to go all out. So if you're confused by this, totally understandable, but it will be explained later on in the summary. You know, reading these spoilers made me think that Izuku could use NordVPN. What? That's right, the sponsor of this video, NordVPN, or more specifically, nordvpn.com/zonin. Guys, straight up no cap, when you're online, you're unprotected and potentially vulnerable to attacks from the League of Villains, maybe. Well, using NordVPN, you can protect yourself because it sends you through an encrypted VPN tunnel when you're trying to connect to a host. But like One For All, it has multiple abilities, and the other one being bypassing region blocking. So yeah, if you're outside of the US, which quite a few of you are, and maybe you can't watch US restricted content, well, just connect to a US server and boom, there you go, access to thousands of hours of content that you normally wouldn't have been able to access to. But if you are in the United States, or you just want to see some, let's say anime, so you are watching this channel, you can connect to a Japanese server and you can watch that forbidden Japanese content that you normally wouldn't be able to. So guys, I implore you to not only check out NordVPN, but go to nordvpn.com/zonin, or just simply use promo code ZONIN. And by doing this, you get a 2-year plus 1 month plan for a huge discount. The links will be in the description. Thanks again, guys. Deku brought Shindo to Tatami and told her to treat his wounds. Deku apologized for not arriving on time and unable to prevent huge damage on buildings and surroundings, and he said he will make sure to reduce the damage to 0. Tatami couldn't see Deku well because there was lots of smoke, but she remembered his voice somewhere. So yeah, in the previous chapter, Shindo was the first one to step up to take on Muscular, and despite, you know, a good effort using seemingly the full power of his quirk, he still couldn't really do anything to Muscular, and he kind of got smacked around as a result, and that led to the end of the chapter with Izuku showing up to save him. And also, it's interesting that it's being revealed here that Tatami isn't aware of who Deku is exactly, and it's understandable, of course, that she would recognize his voice considering that she met him at the provisional license exam. But aside from there being lots of smoke, which we'll get into, in this chapter, Izuku's also wearing his mask and his hood is down too. He looks pretty cool, actually. Deku realized he might have used too much smoke screen, to which the 6th agreed through internal dialogue. Because of One For All, the quirks became really strong and had to control, especially after All Might. That's why Deku needs to relax. Their quirks are enough to become a finishing move if used individually, so Deku will need to visualize/imagine them as tools, where he can construct those tools to stop his opponent. So this is it. This is confirmation as to what the 6th user's quirk was, and it is in fact a smoke quirk. I think it's being called smoke screen here, or at least in the rough translations of it. So that's kind of nice, you know, something that we've all pretty much been collectively speculating about. It came true. The 6th user has a smoke screen quirk, and he's using it, I guess, how we expected it as well. And also, I think we might see Izuku using this at the end of the previous chapter. Like when he's holding Shindo after he saves him from Muscular, there's like smoke coming off of him. And I just thought that was from the impact of the sequence that happened with the punches and the moving and the debris and stuff. But pretty sure now that that's the smoke emanating from Izuku's body, because Judging from the leaked panels of this chapter, that seems how this quirk works. It just seems like a lot of smoke like comes out of his pores or just out of his body in general. Deku remembered that Muscular is someone who can withstand 100% of One For All. This is true. I think I talked about this in my 307 review, how when they had originally fought back in the training camp arc, Izuku straight up hit Muscular with a 100% punch, and he got up after it and kind of shook it off. It was pretty impressive for that time. I mean, I guess it would just be impressive for any time, for any person, to take a 100% punch and then just get up after it. So he's using Smokescreen, the 6th, to block Muscular's vision. And then he floated, the 7th, used Black Whip, the 5th, to attack, and Danger Sense, the 4th, to strengthen his prediction. So this is another thing that I was speculating about, and it's come to fruition, and it looks awesome in this chapter. Izuku is in fact using the 4th user's Danger Sense quirk as kind of like Ultra Instinct or Observation Haki. Like in mid-combat, he's dodging Muscular's attacks by using Danger Sense to predict them before they're able to land on him. So another thing that's happening in this sequence that I don't think is going to be talked about in these summaries is that Izuku has like support gear with him. He has like a rope. He also has like a straight up jetpack, and he's using that in combination with float to where he's just straight up flying now. So maybe before he left UA completely, he met up with Hatsume and made a deal with her or something. Muscular said Deku was using cheap tricks. Deku asked him, where is All For One and Shigaraki? Muscular said he didn't know, and the last thing they said to him was to do whatever he likes. Muscular said Deku's using cheap tricks dampened his mood, and once again told Deku to fight all out like that day. So here's a little update on All For One and Shigaraki. We pretty much where we were originally. We don't know anything. We don't know where they are currently. We don't know what's going on, but at least they were mentioned. Deku asked Muscular why he wanted to rampage so badly, to which Muscular answered he wanted to live his life with no regrets of not experiencing all the fun and pleasure he can get. Deku asked Muscular if he had no other path he could choose, to which Muscular answered there were none. Muscular told Deku if he wanted to express his sympathy, he should just do it somewhere else, because in Muscular's heart, there is only blood and battle. So I guess this is going back to what Izuku was talking about with the vestiges regarding Shigaraki and how, you know, maybe if he could use Talk No Jutsu on him, he could change things. Or maybe if he could just Talk No Jutsu to just all of his previous opponents, maybe things could have worked out differently. And internally, Deku said that he knows that he should still fight no matter what his opponent's answers were, but he thought maybe he could change something if he knew the answer as to why they did that. Muscular said that Deku became such a boring man. After he said that, his muscles began to tear up. Tear up happened because of his muscle tension and exhaustion due to Shindo's vibration quirk. See previous chapter. There's a time lag from the vibration to the tear up. That's also why Muscular couldn't jump high enough on the beginning of the chapter. Muscular said that Deku was cunning, but Deku said that it was him being all out. End of chapter. So yeah, Shindo actually did accomplish something when he was using his quirk against Muscular. I mean, he did get smacked around and was defeated kind of easily, but it wasn't all in vain. He did set up Muscular for his inevitable defeat here. Now, it's not exactly mentioned in this summary what happens here, but as Muscular's muscle fibers break down, it exposes like his true self, and Izuku sees it and pretty much just one-shots him. Like similar to what he did to Overhaul, like it's just he's here and then the next frame he's on the other side of him with his fist in the air, like kind of like Thunderclap punched him. This sequence looks amazing, like on the panel. One of the best, I'm pretty sure it's a double page spread that Horikoshi may have ever done. So yeah, that's the end of the chapter. Man, so much hype for this. Let me know what you think about all of Izuku's developments in the comments, guys. If you liked the video, please give it a like and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day and I'll see you in the next one.